Okay, hi everyone. So, come on, Poppy.
Okay.
So, Poppy Olsen is a world champion skateboarder. She became a world champion skateboarder at the age of 13. She is now the ripe age of 14. And she is here to tell us a little bit about her story. One of the things that I think we're really inspired about her is her dedication to skateboarding, but also she sells artwork online to fund her skateboarding. And so it's a awesome tie-in to what we're doing and what we're doing next door in the Sunrise Alpha. So I'm going to hand over to Poppy and for a few minutes just to tell her story. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name's Poppy. I'm 14 years old and I'm obsessed with skateboarding. As of January this year, I'm a Novocastrian. Yeah, mate, I'm from Newey. How's yours going? So I live with my mum and younger brother and sister, and I currently go to Newcastle High, which feels really good as for the last year and a half before that, I've been doing my schooling through distance education. Here's a little background information about me. I was 8 years old when a family friend gave me his old skateboard. There just so happened to be skate ramps set up next to my local park, and I begged and begged my parents to let me go down and give this skating thing a try. I remember spending hours upon hours trying to jump off this very small ramp. I kept at it and kept falling and falling. The guy running the clinic, who today is my coach, kept telling me how to position my feet and pull off this really basic trick. At one point, he even went over to my parents and said, "She's driving me crazy," as I entered what was probably around my 100th attempt. But despite all the failure and frustration, at that moment I was hooked by skateboarding. I remember going to my first competition when I was 9. There were 3 girls and seemed to be hundreds of guys. I only had about 3 tricks and landed all my lines. I somehow won the competition and remember being so excited that I felt like crying. My love of competing was born that day. From there, I went to bigger and better competitions. And in 2012, when I was 11, I won the Open Girls Division at the Australian National Championships. I was stoked. Then I started getting invited to World Cups. I was 12 when I competed in my first one in Anaheim in the States. I was terrified and excited all at once, but it was amazing. There were so many girl skaters and they were all just like me. Felt like I was in heaven. I won my first World Cup when I was 13. And in January this year, I was crowned the overall point score world champion for 14 and under girls. Can anyone see the patch on my forehead? How can you miss it? As you can see, to get to the top in skateboarding, it's really tough. 2 days before the World Cup of 2015, did a routine backside air, went headfirst into the concrete bowl, and smacked my head and cracked it open. One of my friends rushed down and took my helmet off, and blood started spurting everywhere. I felt fine, but I looked up and my mum cried. After that, I took a $2,000 trip to the hospital and got 8 stitches. My mum cried. And then on the next day, I didn't skate, but on the day of the competition, I felt okay and said, "You know what, Mum, I'm going to skate." She cried. I think I was so terrified of falling that I just landed all my lines and I happened to win. My mum cried. It was such an amazing feeling. You see, skating is who I am. Skating makes me feel alive. Every single day I wake up with the same passion and drive to get on my skateboard and go to the skate park. I get so much from skating. It encourages me to think differently, to think positively. But believe me, I fall many, many times. I get angry, frustrated, sometimes I even cry. So why do I pick my board back up again? It's because the feeling when you finally land that trick, you've put so much determination and effort into, is like nothing else. Your body tingles, your smile grows, and you get such an amazing feeling inside of pride because you know you've achieved something great. And then you want to get that feeling over and over again. But it wasn't easy getting to this level. Apart from hours of hard work on my board, my biggest obstacle was money. There's not a lot of money in girls skateboarding, and for me to compete internationally in competitions cost around 20 grand a year. My parents couldn't afford to send me, and I was desperate to go. So from very early on, I had to think of a way to make money. Now, when I'm not on my skateboard, I'm drawing. This is a Christmas card I drew when I was 8. I've been drawing for as long as I can remember, and as my passion for skateboarding grows, so does my desire to create and draw. I really think skateboarding and art are related. I know I can't have one without the other. When I was 9, I started making my art into greeting cards. A bit later, I enrolled in a course called Club Kidpreneur, which taught me all about goals and basic business skills. At the end of the course, I went to market and made about $400 worth of my cards. I killed it. I was stoked. Then I started selling my cards at more markets to help fund my overseas trips. It was good, but I just needed more money. I was only making about $1 profit from each card, and I just wasn't selling enough of them. So I started submitting proposals to my local council, and soon I was getting paid to paint the local signal boxes in the area. I have painted 7 in Bondi so far. As my business grew, so did my ideas. That's the signal boxes. I started designing skate decks when I was 12. A skate deck is the wooden top part of the skateboard that you stand on. This is the first one I ever created. It's like a diary of my very first skate trip to the US. It's all the things I ate, the people I met, the things I learnt, and where I traveled pretty much. This is where I really started to first realize the significance of the graphics on a skate deck. Everyone has its own meaning, whether it's just a company's logo or it's been designed by a skater or even if it's a professional skater's name. They can all become works of art for people to hang on their walls. If there are any skaters in the audience, I bet you can remember the graphics on your very first skate deck. And for the couple of you that aren't skaters, it's like that first painting or picture or poster that caught your eye and you thought, that is so cool, I have to put it on my wall. Skateboarding has definitely influenced my art and vice versa. I travel to skate parks all over the world and everyone is different. Not just for the lines that you can create on your skateboard, but for the art that is on their walls. Some are clean, some are tagged and dirty, but some are covered with the most amazing art done by local skaters in that area. These are a few of my absolute favourites. So, when I pick up my paintbrush, there are no rules. I have the freedom and creativity to create lines however I want to. On my skateboard, I can create lines too. Every skate park is like a blank canvas, ready for me to fill it in with my colourful tricks. So, I started to think, what if I combined them? What if I created something that I would like to see? Art at skate parks, not dirty tags. Last year I put a proposal into Waverley Council and it took a while to be accepted, but next week I start painting at Bondi Skate Park on the walls. So that's another overseas trip paid for. I travelled overseas 4 times last year to the World Cups, but one of my absolute favourite trips was doing a demo with Tony Hawk in Melbourne. We did demos at the Australian Formula 1 Grand Prix. Not only is Tony Hawk one of my absolute favourite skaters, but he is one of my favourite humans. He is really down to earth and humble and completely supports women's skateboarding. Such a legend. One of his most famous quotes is, "Skateboarding is an art form, a lifestyle, and a sport." I can't agree more. Skateboarding as a sport means I get to be an athlete and train and compete in a supportive environment. It is a lifestyle, and my achievements in skateboarding have allowed me to travel the world and meet some of the most amazing women skateboarders that have become lifelong friends. And as an expression of art, skateboarding has changed my way of thinking and has opened my eyes to creativity in ways I could have never imagined. Not only is it all that, but it is a huge billion-dollar business, and Tony Hawk has made a lot of money doing something he loves. To me, that is the key. To run your own business, it's hard work, so it has to be something you love. It takes time away from hanging and chilling with your friends, so you have to be passionate about it, and you have to have a goal in sight of what you want to buy or achieve. And you have to know why you're doing it. So what's next for me? I still do markets, but I'm focusing on getting more product into shops and growing my website and online sales. I've also expanded into jewelry. Each little necklace here is an original piece of art that I've drawn. My ultimate goal is to get a major sponsor so I don't have to worry about getting the funding for traveling overseas. However, we need the sport to grow. So if there's any girls out there that like to skateboard, we need more of you. I really want to grow my business so I can eventually sponsor young girls that want to travel overseas and compete like I do. So for those of you with a dream, with a bit of perseverance and hard work, anything is possible. I don't really have a good business brain. I keep things short and simple and learn as I go. But the important thing is that I have a go, and you guys should all do too. Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
So how cool was that? Now we're gonna pitch Poppy's artwork down on the bottom ground floor at the bottom of the stairs. Go and buy Poppy's stuff. We want to sell out the table, okay? So everyone's got to go buy a card, and so go do that. It's lunchtime. There are sandwiches out there, and we'll see you back at 1:30. 1:30 on the dot. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.